Hello and welcome back to day 2 of NAHBS, the North American Handmade Bicycle Show from Austin, Texas. I'm here with Groovy with Rody bikes out of Ohio, California, and we're going to talk a little bit about his custom designed bicycle. This one is the Kauai 650B. And it's collapsing. Groovy, why don't you tell us a little bit about your Rody bicycles?
Okay, I'll make sure I do that. Thanks, Jeff. This particular bike was designed for a customer out of the Netherlands. He is a dyed-in-the-dirt mountain biker. 26-inch wheels, cantilever brakes, straight bars, old school all the way. And he decided, you know what, Jeff, it's time that we have a heart-to-heart. He says, I want a bike that's going to be updated. I want tires that are going to roll over obstacles like they're clouds.
Whoa.
He says, I want a shifting system that doesn't give me stuff hanging all over the bike, giving me problems. He says, I want an integrated bar stem combo, so it's light, it's fast, it's strong.
Damn.
Okay? So we hooked him up. We gave him 650B wheels.
It says here that you are...
It does say there. Does it say that there?
Married to a life partner.
I am.
Okay.
Yeah.
You both live together in Ohio?
Yeah, Guinevere and I.
Okay. Let's talk a little bit, if we could, about your love handles and your crank.
Okay.
And we're done with that. We'll get back to the bicycle. So if you could tell us a little bit about this design, where it came from, and,
okay.
The modern version of it.
Yeah, the crank was originally designed in 1978 by Bill Grove while he owned Titron Components, and he called it his hot rod. It was the first two-piece crank design ever on the market. 3 years later, Roger Durham of Bullseye saw that at the NAHBS event in Mount Snow, and he later came out with his crank, and a lot followed after.
Right.
What's unique about this particular crank is that it uses a tricoidal polygon, which is a shape that has 3 lobes, and it offers incredible surface area contact with no opportunity to slip, round out, or wallow out. 5 years ago, Bill and I sat down together and I said I'd like to reintroduce the crank, bring it back to the marketplace. Yes. We went through some years of prototyping and here we are. We're building them in the shop now.
What I did notice earlier is that when I did grab your crank, it's very stiff.
It is stiff, and it's quite long too. It comes up to 180 millimeters.
Right, I did notice that. It's actually longer than my grip, which is unusual. And then we have the bars, your love handles. You can even talk a little bit about the bars, the one stem, bar stem combo.
Yeah, the love handles I actually designed because I was somewhat disenchanted with the lack of ergonomically fit bars on the market.
Right.
A standard straight bar, you know, you have to kind of over-pronate to hold that. Right. Some of the other alternative bars you had to over-supinate, which actually exacerbates the stress on your wrist. So I designed these with a 21.5-degree sweep so that when you're holding it shoulder width apart, your wrist and your forearm are in a straight line.
I noticed that last night when I was holding your love handles that I had more of a firm kind of grasp.
Yeah. You know, but what I would suggest for you though, Jeff, is that you need a crank that's a little bit longer. You know, I could tell that you had power there, but it just wasn't moving the bike forward.
Yes. What else can you tell us about the bike? I noticed it had some interesting internal routing for the shifting system hub.
Yeah, that's on the other side. One of the biggest disadvantages of the roll-off is that you have to run dual cables from the handlebars all the way down to the chainstay, and you often get interference between the rear tire or the crank and the cables.
Right.
So on this particular bike, we routed the cables internally to keep a very clean look, and we machined some specific plates that fit on the inside of the chainstay that allow the cables to follow the contour, the curves of that sexy rear end without any interference.
Right. And the paint, can you tell me a little bit about the paint?
Well, paint is something that we kind of really enjoy in our shop because it allows us to bring the personality of our customer, you know, to fruition. Okay. Being that Roy is so old school and is willing to take the leap of faith now, kind of like the next step in the ladder evolution, I thought nothing better than a dinosaur skin paint job.
Right. Speaking of margaritas, which the color reminds me of, how do you take your margaritas? Are you more of a blended guy, rocks?
Oh, I like mine shaken, Evelyn. Thank you for asking.
Okay. Do you take salt on the rim?
Oh, definitely. Okay. Definitely. The saltier the better.
How about for the margarita?
The margarita? Oh, it's got to be bloody.
Okay. Well, I think that's about all the questions and interest I had for you today.
Good, because I lost interest about 5 minutes ago. But I appreciate the time that you've shared with me today, Jeff.
All right, bro.
Awesome, brother.
All right, peace out.